grain mill.
It's a grain mill.
And we grind the corn, rye, and barley up in this, and then put it over in the fermentation vat, which is a stock watering trough. It's worked well for us. We got 6 of those from a winery that went out of business here in Jackson. And then once we get the grain in there, we mix sugar and water up in this container. It has an electric agitator in it. We mix it up, and for about an hour and a half, then we dump it in with the grain. Now the grain and the water from there won't fill this up, so we have to add well water into this.
Well water, wonderful.
And we put about, we like to have about 300 gallons in there.
Not bad.
So once we get that in, we cover it with a thin sheet of plastic to let it water warm a little bit. Then we mix the yeast in with it. We just take a boat paddle and mix it in, recover it, and let it ferment. Now the fermentation time varies in this building because we can't control the temperature in here like we need to. But we can control it between 70 and 75 degrees. It would ferment in maybe 10 to 14 days, something in that length of time. But once it ferments, we pump the liquid out, which we call the wash. Some people call it beer. And we leave the grain in this, and we pump the fluid out into one of these white tanks back over here. And we let the yeast settle out. And that may take a couple of days, something like that. And once the yeast settles out, then we pump it into the still back here.
Back to the steel.
That's a white tank. We put in a white tank.
What we got here?
Now this is a 100-gallon still. It's made by a company in Barlow, Kentucky. Got a little plaque down here on it that says Hillbilly Steels.
Hillbilly Steels.
And it's a copper steel. And they call it a column steel too because it's got the column there. And it's electrically fired. It's got 4 water heat elements along the bottom down there.
Very nice.
And,
very nice.
See that there's two of them on this side, and there's 2 on the other side. And then control panel.
No smoking.
Now this is control panel right here. It's got each element has a separate control. One of them is just off and on, and when we start it, we run all of them because that's gets the temperature up faster.
Yes, sir.
And then when we get it up there, we turn this one off and regulate the temperature with the amperage on the other 3.
Wow. Have it all automated on timers.
And of course, when it starts heating, and alcohol comes off at a lower boiling point than does the water, so that's the reason you can separate them out. And it'll go up this column. We got 2 condensers up there. You can't always see them; it's dark up there. One on the right side and it's long. One on this side of the condenser. And it'll condense and come down in here, flow into this tube. We'll have a hydrometer in here to tell us the proof. It'll be about 160, 170 proof right here. And that's what's in those jars over there.
And that right there is pure shine.
Yeah.
Right there.
Now the bottles on the other side are branded to go down to the winery down the road.
I see. And beautifully set up.
Now, when you start running this, you got 3 categories of alcohol that comes off. You have the heads, the heart of body, and the tails. The heads is what you want to get rid of. That's the methanol. That's very toxic stuff. So we take more than enough off, and we put it in a 55-gallon drum over there, so there's no way it can get involved in what we're doing. And then we start catching it in the big jugs. And it's a slow process. If I started about 5:30 in the morning, it'll run to 10 that night. So it makes for a pretty long day.
It's a long day.
And
well, a nice reward at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
It can
At
be.
170 proof.
160, 170 proof.
160, 170 proof from there, yeah. I'd say probably have a nice restful evening after a hard day's work and sip of that there.
Yeah, because that's one thing about moonshine, you know, you can use it right off the still, you know.
Yes.
A lot of these other things have to be aged before you really use them, you know.
Very
It's
interesting.
best to use them, age them anyway,
Very
for
interesting.
color and flavor.